Hello guys, today I'm going to be talking about the practices, skills, techniques and tactics of high performing teams in esports. First thing we're going to be talking about is the characteristics of the players. High performing players who act very professional towards each other is very important because they have to be able to keep themselves in a professional environment the whole time they are playing together as a team. For example, Sentinels act very professional towards each other. This is shown as their team chemistry does not get ruined in any way, shape or form. Professional players that have a good positive attitude is also very important because having a bad attitude could have a chance of ruining the team's chemistry with each other and having a chance of not playing as a good team. A few examples of this is Sentinels of FaZe Clan, that they will have a positive attitude towards esports and their teammates. Players have to be very good at problem solving because if they are good at problem solving, they will be able to solve any problems slash issues going on in the workplace. Them being good at problem solving means they'll be able to assess the situation and properly and make it their advantage in games when they are playing. For example, Sentinels is good at problem solving because of the fact that they were able to adapt to their opponents and win the VCT. This is known as one of the most prestigious Valorant tournaments. The next most important thing we're going to be talking about is we're still on the characteristics of the team. The teams have to be good role models for the young audience. For example, the team cannot smoke or do anything bad that could influence kids who take the players as their role models. For example, FaZe Clan is very good. It's a very good role model as none of the members do anything that could be a bad influence on their younger audience, and most of their audience is a younger audience, so they have to be careful. The team dynamics have to be very positive because having a positive dynamic will make the team play better together and will make it so that the team has more chemistry and they will be better friends, meaning they will have a much healthier relationship when not playing together. FaZe Clan has a very good team dynamic because most of the clan members have been friends since they were younger. This is like very important because it means that they have a good chemistry already built up with like in or out of gaming. Teams have to be able to adapt to opposition strengths and strategies. This is a very good skill for the team to learn because it then means that the team can be put in a position where they are not used to, but they can adapt to it and use it to their own advantage. For example, Team Liquid was losing 6-2 to Sentinels, and they adapted to how Sentinels played, and they ended up coming back and winning the game. The team has to make sure they take care of their reputation so that their team doesn't get cancelled or even get hate from people for doing certain stuff. Once again, FaZe Clan is generally really good in this department as they have not had any issues in the past with this sort of stuff. Now we're moving on to skills, techniques, and tactics. Lineups are very important. Pro players use something called lineups to give them the upper hand in games. For example, for certain maps, you could use a lineup on the spike so that when it is planted, the other team does not get to defuse in time, as you will do damage to them without them being able to kill you, giving the team a free win. However, other teams will begin to check where the player was standing to do the lineup. A team like FaZe Clan focuses a lot more on lineups and like holding corners and playing more strategical. A very important tactic in Valorant is knowing when to buy certain guns. For example, the first round you can decide to buy either a better pistol or you can decide to save so that you have more money for the next round so you can buy better items. You should also save with your team and full buy with your team so that your team isn't giving away free weapons to the opposition. Sentinels focuses more on knowing when to buy and save, whereas FaZe Clan obviously knows they focus more on holding corners and lineups. Holding angles is also very important because holding angles in Valorant makes it so that anyone that walks around those corners will get one tap, giving the player a free kill. This is used all across the ranks, all the way from Iron to Pro level. Once again, FaZe Clan generally take care of this area. Team roster is when someone from the organization decides on who is going to be on what team depending on each player's skill so that the organization can get the most fame and money. For example, Sentinels would have a really good Valorant roster but a not so strong Rocket League roster because they focus mainly on one game. The structure for most games are based off of playoffs, where they verse each other and then the top 8 teams play in a double elimination tournament to decide a winner. This is very good as the best teams will play against each other and no teams will get easy wins from versing worse teams when it comes to elimination games. For example, FaZe Clan, Team Liquid and Sentinels always tend to qualify as they are known as a top team in Valorant. The player market is good because if a player doesn't meet the standards for the team, they can be sold or traded for money to buy a better player or traded for a better player with another from another team. A player may not have better accuracy but could communicate well with the team, which could lead the team to buying the player. For example, Sentinels liked how Tens played, so they bought him for the team and he instantly made the team improve by a lot and helped them win the VCT. A lot of teams have sub-teams which are slightly worse than their main team. Only reason for a sub-team is that they can scrim against each other. For example, Sentinels used to have an academy team for CSGO, which the main team would scrim and against to improve both teams, the sub-team and the main team. Uh, Individual training time. This is like a variety of trainings like aim training, lineup training, deathmatch, and even comp games. Individual training time is very useful, as we can see, as many pros use this to help them improve. For example, an average pro will spend 6 to 8 hours a day to play their specific game just to train and improve. This takes a lot of dedication and effort. For example, SEN10s would jump into aim labs to train for Valorant before he gets on so that his accuracy is crisp and good. VOD reviews. This is when the players, or rather even their managers, go over the gameplay that the team had produced to give them tips on what they could have done better and what they had done that was very good. This is very, very good because VOD reviews show the players' highlights, shows them when the players went wrong, making sure that the players know what they could have done better in what situations so that the team can then adapt and improve to themselves in better ways. Team talks. This is when teams talk about how they could improve. This is a time where they can share ideas with each other, concerns, and etc. Team talks are very useful because a team could use this time to discuss their next strategy and end up making it and winning the tournament/game. For example, FaZe Clan can set up a time to meet up so that they can discuss all of their actions for their next game. Strategic training is very important because this could be learning how to take over sites better, bot training, and just many other ways. Strategic training is like individual training time, except it's the entire team playing, training together instead of alone. The main team for Valorant could play against the B team for Valorant, which is called scrims, which could help both the main and the secondary team out get better. Scrims. Here we're going to be talking about what scrims are and how they can be used. Scrims. This could be them playing against the second team from the same org or scrimming against orgs to further their skills. Sentinels used to be able to scrim with their CSGO team. They had their CSGO main team versus their academy team so that both teams improved. Sentinels used to have an academy team for just CSGO, however, this was later disbanded because a player called Sicko had announced that he wanted to leave the team for FaZe or G2 Academy. Because of this, they disbanded the team and they ended up using the money from the disbanded team for their Valorant team to help improve their facilities so that the Valorant team can go forth as it's their main game. Players' psychological state is very important because without them having a good mental health and social life, they won't be able to think and use as much of their brains as others. This is because they will always have something bigger to worry about. For example, some pro players might have a break off of games to take care of their mental health, to just make sure they're okay mentally before they get back into games, force pressure onto themselves. Because taking part in high level tournaments could lead to a lot of pressure and anxiety building up in the player's head. Coaching and mentoring is very important because they'll have a coach to help manage their social life and work life and to deal with the press so that the players know what to do with the press and what not to do. Coaching and mentoring outside of gaming is very important. For example, FaZe have a person called Chelsea Northern who is their HR manager, and she helps them by helping to manage their work-life balance and dealing with the press. Team roles, for example, players, substitutes, coaches, analysis, and managers. Each team consists of 5 players and subs for the players just in case they need some subs to jump into games. Each team also consists of coaches for different things. They could have coaches for IRL things such as mental health and other things. Each team has game analysis so that they can go through the team's games and tell them what they had done wrong and how they could improve. The manager of the team will have to decide what tournaments the team get put in and what games they should and shouldn't play in. For example, teams like Sentinels, FaZe, and Team Liquid all have all these roles in the team so that it is all very well organized and all in one place. Evaluating the strength of the team always comes down to the manager and the coaches. The manager and the coaches should be able to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of each player and decide who should be on the main team and who shouldn't play. This is important as they would want to choose the best starting lineup to try and win the games. For example, the teams I listed earlier would all have these people to manage and evaluate so that they all have the best teams, which is why they are all known as the best. Recruiting players is very important because recruiting players could be the reason the team becomes very good or becomes worse. This is important because they have to recruit players who will not ruin the team's reputation and will bring them rewards. For example, Sentinels recruited a player called Tens. He's a good recruit as he is very good at the game and he won't do anything to make the team's reputation worse by getting them cancelled or doing anything controversial on stream while he's playing games. Assessing players is very important because it is how the players for each tournament is decided and who should play for each game. This is important because they want to be able to have the best team possible. For example, Sentinels decided their main team for Valorant to take part in the VCT because it is the most prestigious Valorant tournament and it is very important for them to win if they want more fame and wealth from that tournament. Management of the team, there's stuff like team visions, goal settings, ethos, recruitment, and financial responsibility. All esports org have many different departments. These include marketing, team managers, event managers, and many more. However, they all have one general manager who oversees all the departments. The general managers take action on what they believe should be done to run the organization and what improvements have to be made. For example, Rob Moore is the CEO and general manager for Sentinels. They also have financial responsibility because they have to be able to take care of the finance side of things. That's a whole different department in the thing, but they are all managed by one general manager, in this case Rob Moore for Sentinels. Thank you lot for watching my PowerPoint.